Okay, today certainly is a big day for the NDC, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a big day. And as you can see, you can feel the excitement all around. We've been here for the past 3 days, since Wednesday. And as we're going through the preparations, we could tell that today was going to be a very big day. It's barely, is it 9 o'clock yet? And it's not yet 9 o'clock, and you can see. So by 11, 12, when we take off, this whole place will be on fire.
Certainly. A lot of people are looking forward to today's manifesto launch. We've heard from the NPP what their agenda is for the country. What are the key projections in this manifesto?
So, first of all, let me deal with the NPP. You see, when somebody in our can, they say, so for the NPP to come out with a manifesto and make promises, we need to examine them and their record. Now, this is the party that came and told us 8 years ago, 1 district, 1 factory, 1 village, 1 dam, 1 constituency, 1 million. I shall protect the public purse. When the fundamentals of your economy are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. 1 district, 1 hospital. I mean, they give a plethora of promises. They've not been able to fulfill any of those promises.
Well, they say that they have fulfilled 70% of their 2020 manifesto.
Where is the 70%? For example, the big English of Dr. Bawumia, who was labeled as the economic whiz kid, and Nana Akufo-Addo himself said that the reason why he chose him as his running mate was particularly because of the economy. And Dr. Bawumia's central message, the foundation of his message was that when the fundamentals of your economy are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. And so the exchange rate, which was around 4.2, arguably, at the time, and according to Dr. Bawumia, that type of exchange rate, it shows a weakness in the fundamentals of the economy, shows an inability to govern, in fact, shows gross incompetence. Now, this same Dr. Bawumia, under his watch, as chairman of the economic management team, has moved the exchange rate from 4.2 to 16 Ghana cedis. 16 Ghana cedis. So fundamentally, the premise, the premise of his political agenda, his political credibility is already gone. He has no business whatsoever seeking the mandate of the people, because that was his core message. So if that one is gone, then what else is he standing on? So the NPP has no credibility when it comes to corruption. And again, let me deal with, in the global environment, when I say something, you say I'm NDC. When somebody says something, you say it's NPP. That is why we have external examiners, Fitch, Standard & Poor's, IMF, World Bank, etc., etc. Those are external examiners who have what we call global marking schemes. Those marking schemes are not meant for Ghana, Nigeria. They are global. So they look at the performance of the economy. They look at debt to GDP ratio. They look at your exchange rate. They look at borrowing. They look at your credit rating. They look at all those things. Now, based on these things, let's take them one by one. At the time we were in government, our worst credit rating was B-. True or false? And NPP said we were not doing well. Today, what is the credit rating? The credit rating of NPP went to Z. I mean, like the economy had collapsed. 2, under us, the debt to GDP ratio was about 58%. 58%, they said it was too high. Today, what is the debt to GDP ratio? It went to 100 plus. That means that if we collect all our revenue plus all our loans, we need to borrow more money to be able to pay the debt. That is a disaster. The economy has collapsed. Under us, under NPP, for the first time in the history of this country, we are having haircuts. Old men, old women who have put their money in government bonds, their money has been shaved off. It's never happened.
Finance Minister apologized to these bondholders, indicating that it was not intentional to bring out this restructuring of debt.
You are a medical doctor. You are going to give birth. The doctor, due to negligence, kills your baby and says, I apologize. Is that okay? Oh, I'm sorry that I left a scissors in your womb. Or I gave the child a wrong anesthesia and the child has died. The person must be held accountable. So apology is not enough. Apology, you have messed up the country. You have messed up people's lives. So the point I'm making is that the NPP is a total mess, and we should not take their word for it, because the data shows. Look, when we were in power, we borrowed 54 billion. 54 billion. With the 54 billion, there are things to show for it. Schools, hospitals, airports, etc. Today, NPP, so far, in 8 years, they have borrowed 620 billion. Not 100, though, not 200, not 300, not 400, 620 billion in 8 years. What is there to show for it? Absolutely nothing. They'll tell you free SHS. Free SHS by their own account doesn't account for even 20 billion. So they have messed up completely, and therefore they don't have any basis to seek the mandate of the people. Everything they are telling us is a lie, because they've been lying. They are not truthful people. They deceived Ghanaians in 2016. They deceived Ghanaians in 2020. So people should not take them serious. Okay. Now we can talk about ourselves.
Speaking about lies, your flag bearer indicated that indeed the manifesto was to come and essentially deceive the people of Ghana. And then some of your communicators have said that the NPP plagiarized portions or sections of your manifesto. Is that to say that your manifesto is full of lies as well?
No. So I was a member of the manifesto committee, and if you observe, oftentimes our flag bearer will go out and make policy propositions. Now, what we observed is that when we make a policy proposition, then because they have nothing in their head, they will come and pick some of our policy propositions and then they will change it. Do you understand me? So some of the things that the flag bearer had already pronounced publicly, they come out and then they reword it. And I wish I had. We've made a table and identified specific areas where we made promises, the flag bearer had announced it, and then they come and then they reword it so that they try to own it. But the people of Ghana cannot be deceived, because they know that those were our policy propositions and prescriptions we have put out already. And beyond that, it's not just about making the policy proposition, it's also about track record. If President John Dramani Mahama, with 54 billion, was able to achieve so much, and if we show you the various sectors, every single sector, massive transformation in this country, and you with 620 billion, you are struggling, you have nothing to show, it should tell Ghanaians that they shouldn't put their hope and confidence in.
Finally, you as a former Minister of Youth and Sports, there are a number of issues within the youth and sports industry, a number of corruption allegations. We're talking about mismanagement and generally how unprepared we are when we have national, international games to participate in. What's your general reaction to these ongoing things within the youth and sports fraternity?
You see, perhaps this is not the right platform, but let me say it nevertheless. The biggest tragedy that happened to us was the way we handled the aftermath of the 2014 World Cup. You see, after that World Cup, instead of the country focusing on the root causes of the issues, the focus was on me. Do you understand me? So it was all about me. Instead of dealing with the issues, for instance, what was the issue? What was the root cause of all the problems? The root cause of the problem was that players insisted that they wanted 100,000 appearance fee. The government said we can only give you 82,500. Then the players said, if you don't give us the money, we will not train. So government had to buckle in and said, okay, we'll give you 100,000. Then the players now said, we don't want transfer, we want physical cash. And so we were caught in a situation where we had to give them the cash, and they refused to train twice. And then they didn't win to qualify to the next stage. Okay, so that was the root cause. When the commission was set up, instead of the commission focusing on that, the commission was focused on me. So
because you were the minister in charge.
Yes, but if there are issues and I took responsibility, am I a player? Do I play football? Is it my duty to go and train and play ball? So where I have questions to answer, I must answer. But where players have relegated their duty, they must also be called to account. So that then became a problem. Number two, for the first time in the history of tournaments, this was the only tournament that government did not provide any money whatsoever for supporters. I and my team raised money from corporate Ghana. Now, the model was that the various corporate entities, if we had followed through that model, what then will happen is that, for example, McDonald was taking tennis. Then, just hypothetical, Casa Preco would take boxing. Then Milo, Nestle would take athletics. That was the idea, and that was the model we used to raise funds to take 620 supporters. But, you know, Ghana sensationalism, including even some of you, the media, you were focusing on coconuts that were bought for $100. Complete nonsense.
You still stand by your opinion that you have not done anything wrong, and one day you will be vindicated.
It's not one day. It's not one day. I'm already vindicated. The report is there. Go and take that report and see if there's anything. There's nothing there. Absolutely not. All those were sensational nonsense. But that was what people were focused on. As a country, we must grow. You see, if we had followed that model, the way we were able to raise funds from various corporate entities, we say, okay, this corporate entity, you take care of athletics. This corporate entity, take care of boxing. This corporate entity, take care of, and then the country can support the football halfway because that's our main passion. That is what is done in all the countries. Okay, and then we didn't do that. 10 years down the line, we are still running around in circles. And then these people, they went to where? AFCON, all the mess. Why is it that they have not been investigated? President Mahama investigated me. I was his campaign manager, public, live. Everybody saw it.
So they should be investigated.
Of course, now they should be investigated. Julius, all
right. Okay, thank you so much.
So, a question.